Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today, my special guest is Jackson Troutman, our new intern, and I'm going to have Jackson hold my phone a minute. There you go, until I get my glove back on, because it's kind of chilly out here. And, all right. Thank you, Jackson.
Sure.
I've never done a video, or this is kind of an introduction to Jackson. Jackson, would you like to tell a little bit about your past and your history? What brought you to regenerative agriculture?
Yes, sir. So, born in Wichita, Kansas, grew up around Kansas City. I'm back to Wichita for high school. From there, went to Kansas State, studied business, and then did a commission out of there with ROTC for the Army. So, serving in the Kansas Army National Guard currently. While I was in high school, I worked on a row crop commodity farm doing standard chores. I was just doused in glyphosate all the time. So I had a very conventional mindset. That's all I really knew. And while I was in college, I didn't want to study agronomy or anything, but I was always passionate about it and casually doing research, always interested in maybe starting my own homestead. I got acquainted with regenerative agriculture, and I had never even explored that avenue. I didn't even know what it was. So through kind of the YouTube rabbit hole, I got exposed to Greg, Joel Salatin, those whole litany. Started diving into the literature, read a lot of Greg's books, Joel's books, and anything I can get my hands on, and decided I kind of want to make that my career path. So I've been pursuing it for a while now. Graduated at K-State in 2020. Worked in a gun shop, actually, as a gun salesman for about a year, doing Army training, and then I've been applying for apprenticeship since. So that's kind of how I got into this.
And before you came here, you were actually working on a
Yeah.
goat dairy?
Yeah, I missed that entirely. So for the last year, I was working milking in a goat dairy, and then also in a horse barn. So it was a grass-fed goat dairy at north of Wichita, Kansas.
And they were making cheese?
Yes, sir. So in-house, they had their own creamery, and they had an on-farm store, on-farm restaurant. I'll just give them a shout-out. It's Eldersley Farm, Keachai, Kansas. They're awesome.
What is it again?
Eldersley Farm, ELDERSLIE Farm, Keachai, Kansas. They have an on-farm restaurant. It's fantastic. Best food in Wichita. And then they have a cafe in the summer, Blackberry Patch, Blackberry Bramble.
Okay.
Get in trouble there.
Yep.
So, yeah, learned a lot there. Worked with the horses. Learned a lot about the small ruminants. So, but really excited to get out here, work with the cattle, work with the sheep. Learn more about how Greg runs his operation.
Yeah. Well, I know Isaac and Ike, we all, interviewed you when you came in, and everybody, we were extremely pleased with the way the passion you had, the interest and the questions, and we could just tell that, you were the fit that we were looking for, and we're extremely happy to have you here, Jackson.
Yes, sir. I'm really honored to be here. It's a big blessing to me, and I'm really excited for it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be a good training year for you. You've got a lot. Right now, you're experiencing winter. And what did you think about this morning, though? Really, it wasn't that...
Not difficult at all. I mean, we spent maybe an extra half hour, 45 minutes yesterday getting prepared for this, setting in bales so that we could have them upslope and not have to worry about traction on the snow.
Mm-hmm.
Although it wasn't a big issue today.
Yeah, we pulled that bale up this hill.
We did.
That was nuts.
Yeah, so it worked out well. But if you have your little bit of forethought and your system planned out like you do,
yep.
This isn't a disaster. This is just business as usual.
I mean, you look at all the bulls; they seem pretty content.
They do.
So, and yesterday, Jackson and I guess it was the day before, maybe. Yeah, it was Monday.
So.
Yeah, we put in. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 more. And then there's room to put in like 3 more packs. So we got about 6 days left in front of us here. And rather than having to stomp it on the snow, we decided to wait for the 50-degree weather, take the snow off, and then go back to grazing. So that's why we unrolled the bale here. Sometimes it makes sense to do that if you're going to if they're going to trample it all on the ground, the stockpile, why not just let it melt off? So that was the thought process. Well, Jackson, also in your duties as a National Guard, you're dealing with, is it the tank division?
I'm in a tank regiment, so I'm in the 165 Armor Regiment. So I've been a tanker for the last, I guess, since 2020. So now coming on 3 years. And then I'm moving over to a different company. So now I'm an XO for a headquarters company. So
Okay.
right now I've kind of moved off of my platoon and towards more of a maintenance and management side. But
One thing that was amazing, you're talking about those, it was the Abram, right?
Abrams, yes, sir.
They didn't have air conditioning in them. And you've got to have fireproof clothing on.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have Nomex clothing on, so head to toe, balaclava, eye protection, nothing that's flammable. We wear entirely leather boots. So yeah, it's
Man, I bet that got hot in
oh,
there.
they're real hot. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, you had to keep hydrated.
You do. Yeah, constantly hydrating. Went out to NTC Fort Over in California in 2021, and we're experiencing 110-degree heat at some points, and 10, 15 degrees hotter inside your vehicle. So I was lucky. I was a tank commander. I had the window seat, but some members of the crew are.
When you say window seat, you had a
I'm
window open?
Yeah, no, I have a hatch, and then my entire torso is outside of the hatch.
Oh.
So I'm standing on my seat, propped outside of the tank, using binoculars, scanning for the enemy
Gotcha.
type of situation. So I'm getting what wind there is, but the rest of my crew is down inside the vehicle.
Like a bunch of sardines.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Well, I've heard that that's one of the best lookouts still is sitting on top with binoculars versus sitting in the tank.
It depends situationally. I mean, with the Abrams, we have thermal vision, so we can look 50 times zoom through my thermal viewer. I can identify heat signatures really far away. You can engage with the main gun pretty far, but depends on the terrain. You're out in the desert, everything's hot, so your thermals are kind of skewed anyways. So you're out with binoculars. Yeah, it's.
How far could you shoot a projectile out of that?
With the system, with the software, we have about 5 kilometers. That's very and with some of your rounds, but ideally much closer than that. But yeah, so 5 kilometers.
You could hit it. You could hit a truck or something.
Oh yeah, moving vehicle.
Yeah, a moving vehicle.
Moving vehicle. Yep.
At 5 kilometers?
Yeah, that'd be a long shot, but yeah, that's.
My goodness. That's unbelievable. It's come a long ways from the musket and ball.
Yeah, they're incredible weapon system.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're honored to serve with. They're great.
Yeah. You were talking. Well, yeah, that's the other thing you were talking about is the fuel.
Yeah, fuel and the maintenance. Now that I'm the executive officer in the company, I see a lot more of the maintenance side, and it takes a lot to keep them running.
Yep.
But that's one of the great things about the U.S. Army is we have that logistical supply chain.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome. Well, I just want to thank you for your service and your continuing service. You still go to guard duty.
Yes, sir. Well, this last weekend.
Yep. And then one time during the summer or during the year, you have to go off for like a camp.
Yeah, annual training.
Yep.
So with that, I think this year we'll be doing our gunnery cycle. So we're going to go out there and shoot our weapons.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And that's like 2 to 3 weeks or something.
Yeah, it should be about 2 weeks, 15 days.
Yeah.
So 14 days.
Well, I'm gonna wrap up with that, Jackson. I want everybody's been asking me, who's this new guy? Who's this new guy? And I'm like, hold on, we're gonna get him.
In the background.
And so I just wanted to thank you for your,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you again for your service, and we're really looking forward to having you here this year, Jackson. I think you're gonna learn a lot, and I think you got a bright future ahead of you.
Thank you.
Folks, have a good one, and on the way out, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.